Good morning, RD Tech. Look at this thing. This is special. This is just coming for a service. I've already found, well, a customer said it popped one day. And if you'd ever look at these valves, a pair of these JJs have gone almost thermonuclear. I had a pair of small used ones, but still in good condition. The beauty of these things, you wait till you see underneath the thing. Look at that. An absolutely beautiful machine. Beauty is though, we have individual bias pots for each of the power tubes. So we don't have to have a matched pair. So what we'll do, we'll fire her up on the bench to check out, see what she is. One minor complication though, I'm going to struggle here getting the bias probes on because they're going to make the valve stick out the top, and if you see, there's not much room there. Power goes in on there. I'm going to have to do this a strange way, I think, but we shall see. Interesting man on the side. All good though, and pretty stable. Huge transformers to rest her on. So right, bias probe's hooked up. She's in play and standby mode. Just applied 70 volts. She's putting 0.1 of a milliamp. We need to keep an eye on the amps as we go up. Let's get her to halfway at 120. Looking fairly consistent. Nothing untoward. Tubes are not drawing any bias current yet, although we have only just switched it on. Anything lighting up on here? Not. Starting to see a bit of a glow. Bring her on up. Let's go to 180. Okay. That looks pretty good. Here we go. Got some bias current now. That's cold. That's cold. These two are pulling. That's the bottom pair there. So I think we need to get those down before we go any further. Try and bring them in line with the other pair. Right, bear with me while I find the correct screwdriver. Oh yeah, quickly, they're climbing. Okay, so individually adjusted each of these. We're at 182 volts. Just wanted to get them all about the same before we go any further, before I start applying more voltage. Next thing is to need to measure the plate voltages as well now to make sure we're in the right ballpark before we go any further and start winding her up. This is looking to be, oh, touch wood, should be a fairly simple job. Okay, plate voltages are 488, so you want to be around 30 milliamps for correct biasing at about that voltage. It's quite high, nothing we can't handle. Yeah, so we go 488. Class A, B, fixed bias, 60%, 30, 70%, 35. So you know me, we're going to be around in the middle there. Probably more on the safer side, so I'm going to hit about 32. Now, on the circuit of the GT1 Matamp, the power tubes don't really go into clipping. The phase inverter will start to clip way before the power tubes will. So let's get this dialed in to 32. Where are we at on these? So This one needs to come down. And these suckers are all about right. Cool, right, I shall get along with that. I won't hold a camera while doing it because I don't want to kill myself. Okay, she's finished. Everything's biased 30 milliamps each. She's been sat on the bench for 2 hours and has been stable there like that. I think it's time to plug this bad boy in. I think before I put this thing away, we really have to have a damn good look inside this thing at the quality of this amp. It is something else. Oh, really good components. Beautifully laid out. Look at this thing. Lovely soldering. It's just a work of art. And to be fair, when you look at the list price on these things at £1,600, I think, honestly, that's cheap for what you're getting. Look, individual bias pots for each valve. You haven't got to buy match sets. You can just tune it to what you need it to be for each tube. Just stunning. Let's hope it sounds as good as it looks. I'm sure it will. Here we are with the playtest of the Matamp GT1. This amp is loud. It's spectacularly loud. It's set in the triode mode rather than pentode. In pentode, I had it plugged into the cabinet and it was ridiculous. I bet you can, there's a master defeat, there's a click there, and that will defeat the master. That just takes out the circuit, and it's just a non-master volume amp. Then you just turn up the volume / gain. For our purposes, I shall have the master engaged. Now, when I used it through a cab, I had it about down here. It was so low, and even then, it's ridiculously loud. Go into the pentode mode, and it's even louder. So, stick it about there. Not a clean amp, but also not a ton of gain in it as well. We have a voice control, which basically just, as you engage it around, so treble, well, say 1 o'clock. See, when it's at 0, it's actually pointing straight down this. So I suppose 12 o'clock is actually about 11 o'clock on the dot. But that's not what it's for. And lift the low end of this thing. Starting to get a bit woofy, so this is where the voice control comes in. you bring up the voice control, taking out the bass, you lose a bit of gain. So that's obviously where the majority of the gain in this amp is coming, is sort of overdriving the low end. So, DOD Classic Fuzz. I've lost the top of that knob. That's on max. And the tone's on max. We'll start with that low. Quickly throw this in here. See what it does to the tone. Because let's face it, most people with a Matamp are going to be using a fuzz of some sort. lot of noise. Yeah, cool amp. I just wish I could. Don't we all? You could hear this in the room with the cabinet, but it just wouldn't do it justice. Like I said, when you look in the service video, you can see the quality inside this thing. It is pretty special, and they're not silly money. I think they're like 1,600 quid, hand built in the UK. A very specific kind of tone. I reckon actually you could get a pretty good metal tone or rock tone, maybe using a tube screamer style, or even just a graphic, just to hump the mids a little bit and push the amp a little bit more. But yeah, cool amp.